Sometimes the most world-changing stories come in the smallest packages, and that is absolutely the case with the story of Ruth. It's a story that starts with just crushing loss, but it shows how one person's loyalty and simple kindness can literally ripple out and change everything.
Wow. Just listen to those words. The entire story really hangs on this one incredible promise. This is so much more than just a nice saying. This is a life-changing, all-in commitment made when everything had fallen apart. And to really get just how powerful this is, we've got to go back and see what led to this moment. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a family from Bethlehem. You've got a man named Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons. And times are tough, really tough. A devastating famine hits their homeland, so they're forced to pack up and leave everything behind, hoping for a fresh start in the neighboring country of Moab. But that fresh start in Moab, it turns into an absolute nightmare. First, Naomi's husband Elimelech dies. Then, a few years later, after her 2 sons get married to local Moabite women, they die too. Can you even imagine? After about 10 years, Naomi is left all alone, a widow with just her 2 daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. The level of loss is just unimaginable. So Naomi hears that the famine back home in Bethlehem is finally over, and she decides it's time to go back. She turns to her daughters-in-law and tells them, "Look, you should go back to your own families. You're young, you can find new husbands." And honestly, that's the logical thing to do. Orpah, through her tears, agrees and says goodbye. But Ruth, no way. She literally clings to Naomi and refuses to leave, making that powerful promise we just heard. So picture this. These 2 women, Naomi and Ruth, arrive back in Bethlehem with absolutely nothing. No husband, no money, no social standing. And on top of that, Ruth is a foreigner. It is a desperate, desperate situation. But here's the thing. They happen to arrive right at the beginning of the barley harvest. And that little detail, it's about to change everything. To keep them from starving, Ruth takes the only option available to the poorest of the poor. She decides to go gleaning. Now, this was basically an ancient social safety net. Landowners were required to leave the edges of their fields unharvested so that widows, orphans, and foreigners could come and gather the leftovers for themselves. It was hard, humbling work, but it was their only shot at survival. And this is where the story gets really interesting. As fate, or maybe something else, would have it, Ruth just happens to end up working in a field that belongs to a very wealthy and respected man named Boaz. And get this, Boaz also just happens to be a relative of Naomi's late husband. So you've got this vulnerable, foreign widow working in a powerful man's field. The big question is, how is he going to react? And right here, this is the pivot point where the whole story shifts from tragedy to hope. Boaz doesn't ignore her. He doesn't dismiss her. He walks right up to her and speaks to her. And why? Because her reputation had preceded her. Word had already spread all over town about her incredible kindness and loyalty to Naomi. And check this out. Boaz's kindness wasn't just a nice feeling. It was all about action. He took deliberate steps. First, protection. He tells all of his male workers, "You leave her alone." Second, provision. He invites her to share food and water with his own crew. And then he shows this incredible generosity, secretly telling his guys to purposefully leave behind extra bundles of grain for her to find. Then Boaz gives her this amazing blessing. He sees what she's done for Naomi not just as a good deed, but as a profound act of faith. He says she's come to take refuge under the wings of God. He recognizes that her kindness is something special and that it deserves to be rewarded. So when Ruth gets home with a massive haul of grain, Naomi is stunned. And when she hears whose field she was in, a light bulb goes off. For the first time in a long time, hope begins to spark. And Naomi, seeing a real opportunity, comes up with a bold, maybe even risky plan to secure Ruth's future for good. Following Naomi's advice, Ruth does something incredibly brave. She goes to the threshing floor at night, where Boaz is sleeping, and she uncovers his feet and lies down. Now to us, that sounds really strange, but in that culture, it was a very specific symbolic act. She was essentially proposing marriage, asking him to step up and be her kinsman redeemer, a close relative responsible for protecting a family in need. And Boaz is just completely moved by her courage and her honor. He wants to do it, but there's a small legal issue. There's another relative who's technically closer in line. But Boaz, being an honorable man, handles everything properly and in public. When the other relative turns down the offer, Boaz is overjoyed to take Ruth as his wife,
finally giving her security and restoring Naomi's family.
And their marriage is quickly blessed. Before long, Boaz and Ruth have a child, their first son. Now, this is more than just a happy family moment. The birth of this baby represents the complete restoration of a family line that was on the very brink of being wiped out forever.
They named their little boy Obed. And this is just the most beautiful full-circle moment. Naomi, the woman who came back to town empty and bitter, is now holding her own grandson. All her joy is restored as she becomes his nurse. The women of the town even celebrate with her, saying that her daughter-in-law, Ruth, has been better to her than 7 sons.
But believe it or not, the story doesn't end there. It gets even bigger. Ruth's personal story of kindness and loyalty has ripple effects that go way beyond her own family, placing her right at the center of a much, much greater plan.
Okay, just look at this timeline. It's incredible. Ruth's son, Obed, becomes the father of a man named Jesse, and Jesse becomes the father of David. Yes, that David, the shepherd boy who'd become Israel's greatest king. There is a direct line from a single act of kindness in a field all the way to the royal throne.
And the significance just keeps growing, because that royal line of King David is the very same lineage that generations later Jesus would be born into. So Ruth, a woman from Moab, a foreigner, an outsider, is welcomed right into the heart of God's redemption story and becomes a direct ancestor of the Messiah. It is such a powerful picture of inclusion and grace.
So what do we take away from all this? I think it's pretty clear. First, kindness is never, ever wasted. It has ripple effects you can't even begin to imagine. Second, loyalty like Ruth's is a powerful form of courage. And this story shows that God loves to work through ordinary, everyday people to do extraordinary things. And maybe the best part? It shows that in God's family, it doesn't matter where you're from. Everyone is welcome.
And that leaves us with one last thought. Ruth faced unbelievable loss, poverty, and prejudice. She had every single reason to be bitter and just look out for herself, but she chose kindness instead. So the question for us is, where can we do the same? Where in our lives can one unexpected, intentional act of kindness completely change someone else's story?
If you were inspired by how this one simple story of kindness echoed through history, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that have shaped our world. Thanks so much for watching.